Welcome to the State of Colorado's Watercraft Inspection and Decontamination course for experienced authorized agents. The purpose of this course is to provide standardized training that prepares staff to protect the waters of our great state from harmful invasive species. The mandatory boat inspection program in Colorado is operated with the cooperation of many different jurisdictions. While Colorado Parks and Wildlife coordinates the program throughout the state, inspections are operated by city, county, state, federal, and private partnerships. Always striving for a seamless program across jurisdictions, CPW works with partners to maintain a standardized and consistent program. CPW has designed this standardized course that all inspectors in the state must take and pass to be certified to do inspections regardless of whom they work for. The state of Colorado has 7 years of experience operating the largest boat inspection network in the nation, and these protocols work. After the discovery of zebra mussel larvae in Lake Pueblo in January of 2008, the Colorado legislature quickly passed Senate Bill 226, or the ANS Act, in the May of 2008. Let's review legal authority. The act created agents, which is the legal term for an inspector and decontaminator. It gives agents the authority to temporarily stop and detain a conveyance, inspect it for ANS, and recommend and perform a decontamination if the operator is willing. You will be an authorized agent after you pass this course. Qualified peace officers are also known as post-certified peace officers. They can order the boat to comply and impound the boat if the boater does not. Peace officers are only needed if the boater is non-compliant. It is rare that we need to call law enforcement, but for those inspectors that have needed that additional support, it has been invaluable. The Act also provides the authority to create authorized locations. This is the location where the watercraft inspection and decontamination takes place and is authorized by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. This is where you will be working. Now, let's begin at the statewide level and examine the big picture. The mission of the Invasive Species Program is to protect wildlife, recreation, natural resources, infrastructure, and the economy by preventing the introduction of zebra and quagga mussels and other invasive species and containing current infestations to stop the spread into new waters. The ANS program achieves this through the implementation of standardized watercraft inspection and decontamination stations, or WIDs, sampling for early detection and monitoring of current populations, and public education and information campaigns. First, let's talk about sampling and monitoring. CPW's ANS sampling crews monitor over 350 waters in the state each year. The crews follow standardized protocols that target specific life cycles of zebra and quagga mussels. We do plankton tows to find veligers, the initial microscopic planktonic life stage. We set out substrates to find the second life stage called settlers, which is when the mussels begin to settle out of the water column and build their shells. And last, we do shoreline surveys to search for adult mussels. You will learn more about the life cycle of zebra and quagga mussels in the next module on biology. Our sampling crews also monitor crayfish, plants, and other mollusks. In 2014, we began water flea monitoring in response to detecting them for the first time in the state in 2013. You will see the sampling crews throughout the year. The frequency and quantity at which we sample is based on the risk of that water body. Please help them to get on the water fast so they can get their work done efficiently. As you can see, we focus the monitoring on plankton tows to try to find the earliest introduction of mussels possible, versus waiting until the invasion occurs, which could be too late to do anything about it. We also spend considerable time performing water quality analysis to establish the likelihood that an invasion or introduction should occur. You know that we sample for ANS using different methods for different life stages. Similarly, we have different scientific standards to positively identify zebra or quagga mussels depending on the life stage. This is known as verifying a detection of an ANS. For veligers, or the microscopic larval life stage of mussels, the organism must first be identified under a microscope. We need to see an animal. Then we use PCR, or polymerase chain reaction, a form of molecular analysis, to confirm the species identification. Lastly, gene sequencing is used to ensure the DNA of the species in question genetically matches zebra or quagga mussels. In order to list a water body positive for veligers, we have to see the animal and get positive results on 2 rounds of genetic confirmation to be sure that there is no other animal in the world it could be. For the settler and adult life stages of mussels, taxonomic identification must be confirmed by 2 independent experts. DNA analysis may or may not be required for further confirmation. The same is true of plants, mollusks, and crustaceans. In Colorado, we have only ever found veligers in state waters. We have never found a settler or adult zebra or quagga mussel in a Colorado water body. In January of 2014, Colorado adopted regional language for the classification of water bodies. Again, there have been no adults detected in Colorado water bodies to date. We have only ever found veligers or DNA in Colorado. Most water bodies here are negative and therefore operate as prevention waters for zebra and quagga mussels. An inconclusive water body means there has been exposure to mussels, but actual organisms have not been found. We have only found environmental DNA in these cases. There are no inconclusive waters in Colorado. A suspect water body means that the water has met the minimum criteria for detection only once. There are no suspect waters in Colorado. Positive means that a water body has met the minimum criteria for detection more than once. Pueblo is the only positive water in Colorado for quagga mussels. There are no positive waters for zebra mussels in Colorado. The last detection of a veliger in Lake Pueblo was in 2011. An infested water body means that there is an adult reproducing population of zebra or quagga mussels in the water body. There has never been an infested water body in Colorado. We are surrounded by infested waters in other states: Kansas, Nebraska, Utah, Texas, Arizona, California, Nevada, and nearly every state east of Colorado. In adopting the regional standard in January of 2014, Colorado delisted all waters except Pueblo. Colorado delisted Grand Lake, Granby Reservoir, Shadow Mountain Reservoir, Willow Creek Reservoir, Jumbo Reservoir, Tarryall Reservoir, all after 5 years of negative testing. These reservoirs had a single veliger detection in 2008 and have had no detection since. Blue Mesa Reservoir was also delisted from suspect to negative in 2014. Only eDNA has ever been found in Blue Mesa. There were no detections in Blue Mesa or any of these waters in 2013 or 2014. Pueblo is the only water body positive for quagga mussel veligers in Colorado in 2015. There are no waters positive for zebra mussels, and there have never been an adult mussel found in Colorado. Now let's move on to our WATERCRAFT inspection and decontamination program. Colorado is a mandatory inspection state. That means that a boat has to be inspected before launching in waters of the state according to law if the watercraft has been launched in out-of-state waters, if it is leaving an ANS positive water within the state, or before launching anywhere the owner or manager requires it, the latter of which is considered prevention, the majority of our WIDs. All out-of-state boats must pass a state-certified inspection before launching onto any Colorado water body. In 2015, we have redefined the type of watercraft inspection and decontamination stations within Colorado. The first of which is a negative prevention water. These are water bodies with WID stations that have never had any verified detection of any ANS. The new definition, an other ANS positive water, is a water body that has a verified presence of an ANS listed in our Chapter 8 regulations other than zebra and quagga mussels. Most ANS-positive waters are also prevention waters for mussels and other ANS. These water bodies are primarily those that are positive for water fleas, Eurasian water milfoil, and New Zealand mud snail. A ZQM containment water is a water that has had a verified zebra or quagga mussel detection. The only ZQM containment water body is Lake Pueblo State Park. An off-water WID is an authorized location that is not located at a lake or reservoir. These are our offices, our marine dealers, marine service centers, and other business locations. There were 73 watercraft inspection and decontamination stations operated by a variety of jurisdictions in Colorado last year, the majority of which are operated by Colorado Parks and Wildlife and private industry. Our program is a public-private partnership effort. This map shows the distribution of inspection stations across the state. As you can see, we have stations from corner to corner. In Colorado, a boater should never be too far from an inspection station to comply with our mandatory regulations. There are many different partners involved: private industry, federal government, cities, counties, and of course, Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Colorado leads the nation in the number of boat inspections performed each year. As you can see, the inspection numbers average about 400,000, including entrance and exit inspections. In total, the state has collectively performed over 2.6 million inspections and 33,000 decontaminations since 2008. Less than 1% of inspections result in decontamination, and most of those are standing water decontaminations, which you will review in Module 4. It's important to note that there was a large increase in the number of decontaminations performed in 2013 and 2014. This is a direct result of CPW and their partners adapting to mitigate new threats. Recent research publications indicate zebra or quagga mussel veligers can survive up to 27 days in standing water on watercraft. Another factor increasing Colorado's need for decontamination is the increase in mussel-infested waters in other states, including Lake Powell and northern Texas reservoirs. Lastly, waters in close proximity to or positive for another ANS, such as New Zealand mud snails, Eurasian water milfoil, or water fleas, perform more decontaminations to limit their spread in the state. CPW and their partners revised mandatory standing water decontamination triggers in 2013 to reduce the threat of invasion from viable zebra or quagga mussel veligers living in standing water, to protect against watercraft coming in from other states' infested waters, and to reduce the spread of other invasive species within Colorado. Now let's review our mussel boat interception data. There have been mussel boat interceptions every year since the beginning of the program, which tells us that mussels are definitely getting transported and introduced via watercraft. The lowest year was 2011, in which we caught only 8 mussel boats. The largest year was 2009, in which we caught 19 mussel boats. In 2014, there were 11 mussel boat interceptions. We've already had one in 2015, coming from New York. That makes for a total of 76 mussel boat interceptions from 2009 to 2015 at the time of recording. All of these boats were coming in from out of state and were fully decontaminated before allowing to launch. Pueblo has by far the highest interception rate with 20 mussel boats intercepted, and Horsetooth Reservoir in Larimer County is second with 11 interceptions. Those are 2 of the busiest reservoirs in the state of Colorado. Our largest reservoir in the state, Blue Mesa, ranks 3rd in interceptions with 6, alongside CPW's Denver office. But it's not just the heavy lifters and big reservoirs that get mussel boats. We have had interceptions in all 4 regions at very large and very small reservoirs operated by all jurisdictions. And the mussel boats are coming from all directions. We have intercepted boats from all across the country. The reason that 14 origins are unknown is because those boats were in so many infested waters traveling across the country that we couldn't pin down exactly where they picked the mussels up from. Colorado is surrounded by infested waters, but we have the tools to prevent those infested boats from getting into our waters, and we can keep our waters clean. This map illustrates where infested mussel boats have been intercepted coming from. As you can see, it's coast to coast and border to border. The statewide invasive species program in Colorado Parks and Wildlife implements quality control for watercraft inspection and decontamination stations. It is required in regulation that quality control evaluations be done to ensure that stations are following protocol and providing adequate protection to those lakes and reservoirs. The intent of quality assurance is to help and to provide a customer service perspective for management. Our goal is to improve inspections and decontaminations and ultimately provide the highest protection to our resources and our recreational opportunities. Inspectors must score 70% or above to pass quality control. The evaluations are based on the exact inspection procedure that we will review in Module 3. There are several different types of quality control. The primary one is secret shopping of inspection stations. We also provide on-the-job training through announced visits, evaluation of customer service, data review of logs and electronic data submissions, and encourage active management by supervisors or program staff. Let's move on to our biologists, hatcheries, and researchers. State fish hatcheries in Colorado are required to do annual fish health inspections. They have protocols in place specific to their facilities and fish transport to prevent the spread of fish diseases as well as invasive species. They are monitored regularly for ANS, and to date, no zebra or quagga mussels have ever been found in a Colorado hatchery. Protections are in place so that CPW has the highest assurance of risk mitigation just in case. CPW always tries to set the example and do the maximum protection possible. You will see ANS sampling crews and aquatic biologists from time to time at reservoirs and on the inspection boat ramps. Every member is certified to do their own inspections and decontaminations within the CPW invasive species program. ANS sampling crews must fully decontaminate all of their equipment and boats in between each and every use. They will be green sealed with a white receipt. You will see the protocol in the inspection module under the green seal section in your textbook. While our staff does have to stop at the inspection station and have the inspectors verify their seal and receipt, please do not hold them up on the ramps. They are being paid with CPW ANS funds, same as many of you, to sample and monitor your lake or reservoir, and the most efficient use of those resources is to get them on the water working fast. It is a waste of state resources to have them sitting in line waiting to launch their boat after we just paid them to decontaminate their boat. We greatly appreciate inspectors and supervisors quickly moving them through the line and getting them on the water as fast as possible. Now let's turn our attention to other western states, all of which now have ANS programs. Some have very sophisticated boat inspection systems similar to Colorado. However, many states are unfunded or underfunded, and all lack personnel needed to run inspection and decontamination stations. While there are many challenges ahead for other states and the region, Western states are working together to find common solutions and create a system of reciprocity between the Western states. We are connected and we are helping each other. This program is about more than one lake. In fact, it's about more than one state. The West is working together to stop mussel movement, and Colorado is leading the way. When we began, only Washington, California, Montana, and Utah had boat inspection programs. Now, all states west of us have programs. New Mexico and Texas added watercraft inspection and decontamination stations in 2014. The West is banded together through the Western Regional Panel's Building Consensus effort to work together and protect all Western waters from the harm of invasive species. One way we are working together is through the Seal and Receipt program. You will get a refresher on this in the inspection module. An exciting thing that happened last year is that Colorado began to accept Wyoming and New Mexico seals with receipts, and they accepted ours. This is the start of reciprocity. The ultimate goal is to have one standardized program implemented by the 17 contiguous western states versus having 17 different programs in the West that confuse boaters and inspectors alike. Another way that we are helping each other, which is really exciting, is through our West 911 Mussel boat notification system. There is a regional alert system in place that will notify other states if an infested boat is known to be traveling. We have been able to intercept several mussel boats in the past few years based on the notification system from the state of origin where it left without decontamination. We hope to be able to link into other states' data with our ANS mobile and web system in the future to get those notifications electronically on the boat ramp. As an inspector, your primary objective is to educate boaters and anglers to clean, drain, and dry their boats and gear in between use. Colorado will never have the resources to perform inspections on every body of water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If each boater, angler, and professional clean their gear and their boats in between uses, we will stop the spread of ANS. The state of Colorado trains approximately 800 inspectors per year. Inspectors then turn around and train close to 90,000 Colorado registered boaters on the boat ramps, plus thousands of out-of-state boaters, through the performance of over 400 inspections per year. In doing so, you are teaching the boaters to clean, drain, and dry. You are teaching the boaters not to transport standing water. We are literally changing the culture of boating with every contact you make. If there is no water, no mud, no plants, and no animals, and the boaters understand the importance of this to them, we are significantly reducing the risk of transporting invasive species, and we are saving lakes for future generations. To assist you with educating the public, we have lots of educational materials for your use. The program office develops these to meet the needs of the field. Last year, we had a new brochure focused on a variety of recreational activities and all invasive species. If you have a need for educational materials, please let us know, and we'd be happy to help you develop those and get them out across the state. Thank you for being a part of the greatest invasive species program in the nation and helping to save our lakes from the harm that invasive species cause.